This is a stimulus check update and daily news report, and things got really heated during an interview with the vice president when she was asked, who is the president, Joe Manchin or Joe Biden? You don't want to miss her response. She got really mad with that. Senate has left the building. They are out of DC, which means the Build Back Better bill will not happen until 2022. But yet Pramila Jayapal still thinks it's going to happen before Christmas. I'll play you the latest video clips from Democrats about the Build Back Better bill. I'll give you the latest stimulus check and guaranteed income program updates. For example, this one, stimulus check payments worth between $530 and $3,000 will be sent to tens of thousands. Here's who will receive the cash. Then this one, more Americans to get $250 payments every 2 weeks for 2 years. Do you qualify? I'll let you know where the White House stands with student loan extension, and I'll give you some other important updates as well. Hope you're having a wonderful weekend. If you appreciate the fact-based, fast-paced updates, hit the like button down below, and I'm giving $200 to my subscribers. I'll talk more about that later on in the video, but first, Netherlands imposes weeks-long nationwide lockdown amid Omicron-fueled case surge. So they have a lot of different lockdowns, a lot of restrictions going on there. Not so much in the U.S. yet, but in the U.S., President Biden administration eyes a potentially stark shift in messaging around ending the pandemic. Supposedly, he's going to come out with something more strict and a more stern announcement. I'll keep you updated on what happens with that. When it comes to vaccines and vaccinated workers, certain vaccinated workers will see a $2,000 bonus soon. Do you qualify? So, mentioned this yesterday. This is going on in Phoenix. So some workers in Phoenix will see a bonus of $2,000. So basically, full-time workers, if they get fully vaccinated by January 18th, 2022, they'll get an additional $1,500. Part-time workers will get $1,000, and city records show full-time employees will get $500 for the vaccine. So either $1,000 or $2,000 for workers in Phoenix. I'll give you the latest on the guaranteed income and universal basic income programs that are going on right now, the newest ones. So Tacoma, Washington. So Tacoma's universal basic income pilot program starts with 110 families. So this is going to be in Tacoma, Washington. It's going to be starting Wednesday. $500 will be given to 110 families in Tacoma over the next 12 months, so that's $500 per month. Then we have Rochester, New York. So Rochester City Council approves pilot program for universal basic income. What's going to be here is a 2-year pilot program would provide $500 per month to 175 families that live at or below the federal poverty level. The next year, a different set of 175 families would be given $500 per month. So it's going to be the 175 families 1 year and then a different 175 families. So it's a 2-year program, but different families both times. And then in Georgia Guaranteed Income Program to provide, okay, there it goes, to provide hundreds of low-income black women up to $850 monthly. So that's probably one of the highest that I'm going to announce today. So this is the initiative In Her Hands, which is led by the Georgia Resilience and Opportunity Fund, and Give Directly intends to give 650 women an average of $850 a month in cash for 2 years. So that's $850 per month for 2 years. Then we have this one, Guaranteed Income, more Americans to get $250 payments every 2 weeks for 2 years. Do you qualify? So this one is going on in Newark, New Jersey. So this will now apply to a total of 400 residents in Newark, New Jersey, who will be receiving those payments for 2 years. The way it's going to be broken down. So the expanded program in Newark will be tested in 2 ways. Half of those participating will receive a total of $250 on a bi-weekly basis, while the remaining 50% will get 2 payments of $3,000 each year, according to a statement by the city. So they're doing experiments there. Then we have this one right here. Stimulus check payments worth between $530 and $3,000 will be sent to tens of thousands. Here's who will receive the cash. This one is just completely false. This is the a bunch of grants at universities that are giving maybe $1,000 here, $530 there. So not even worth getting into because it only applies to a small amount. Next, let's talk about where the White House stands on student loan forgiveness. So White House not budging on February 1st end to student loan forgiveness. So it's not really student loan forgiveness. It's an extension where people don't have to pay their student loans. But February 1st is when payments are going to resume. There's been a lot of calls for the White House to extend it more. It doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon. And Democrats are playing whack-a-mole with Joe Manchin as they're set to make hefty cuts and get Biden's bill over the finish line in 2022. So big takeaway there, 2022, and Joe Manchin just gets so much attention out of this whole thing. It's pretty crazy how much power he has. So much power that people are wondering who is the president, Joe Manchin or Joe Biden? When Vice President Kamala Harris was asked this question, she got really, really mad over it. Take a look at this video clip, and then it talks more about what's going on with Build Back Better bill and an interview with a Senate Democrat.
President of this country, is it Joe Manchin or Joe Biden, Madam Vice President?
It's Joe Biden.
I can't tell sometimes.
No. It's Joe Biden. It's Joe Biden. And don't start talking like a Republican about asking whether or not he's president. It's Joe Biden. It's Joe Biden. And I'm Vice President, and my name is Kamala Harris.
There you go, Charlemagne the God. And what's really interesting, I think, is that there's history here between these two people. He's interviewed the vice president before, and we haven't seen that level of intensity. There's a lot of frustration, as you know, Jim, going around in Washington, D.C., among progressives on the left about what the senator from West Virginia, Joe Manchin, has been doing, especially in regards to the president's Build Back Better agenda, and that's just one reflection of it. But the bottom line up on Capitol Hill with Joe Manchin, the Democrats in the White House, is this is how they roll in a 50-50.
Yeah. Well, and Kamala Harris was very, very candid about her feelings there. I thought that was very interesting. All right, Joe Johns, thank you very much for that. And more headaches for the Biden administration as the president extends the timeline for his Build Back Better plan once again, which also means more time for Democrats to fight it out in public. This week, heated negotiations and an intense lunch among Democratic senators left some with serious cases.
Your general feeling?
Frustrated and disappointed.
At this point, is this time to start thinking about maybe breaking up BBB into more digestible pieces? Is this bill just
I don't know if that's the answer. And apparently, Manchin's approach to this has changed a lot. I don't know where he is today, tomorrow.
You can have one person or two people just stop everything, and that is why people in our country should know that a 50-50 Senate sucks and we can't get things done.
I'm joined now by that last senator you heard from there, Mazie Hirono of Hawaii. Well, you told it like it is. Being in the Senate can suck, especially when there are only 50 senators on your side. I guess, what is your sense of things right now with Senator Joe Manchin? I almost feel like we should take a time out when it comes to mentioning his name on national television because we say, but I say that in jest to some extent. But is it all essentially riding on whether or not he can come to any kind of agreement when it comes to the Build Back Better plan? Is that where we are right now?
The last I heard from Joe is that he has an open mind about Build Back Better, so he's not slamming the door shut. So obviously, discussions are continuing. I'm
sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but doesn't he always say that?
Why we keep working on him. So clearly with 50-50, with the Republicans not lifting a single pinky to help the people of our country, it all rests on the Democrats. And you only have one party that's governing, that's doing anything to help people, and you have the other party just sitting on their hands doing absolutely nothing. That would be the Republican Party. So at the same time, as I said, Joe has said he's keeping an open mind. That is good enough for me to continue the dialogue and discussions. At the same time, I am very concerned about all of the dozens of voter suppression bills that are being enacted all across the country, even as we speak, Jim. And so we need to pass voter protection legislation ASAP.
And I do want to talk about that, but let me just mention the senator who hails from West Virginia one more time here. CNN's Manu Raju, my colleague, asked the senator about one of the sticking points in the bill, the child tax credit.
They're pressuring you to change your position on the child. Are you going to change the way that's in the bill, the 1-year extension?
I guess what's interesting about that question and his response, it does go to, I think, the other reporter question that we heard earlier when we were playing some of that sound is it time to start thinking about breaking up Build Back Better into the bricks of Build Back Better and perhaps trying to shepherd those through one or two or a few at a time?
All of the provisions of Build Back Better will reduce costs, for example, child care. Why is it that so many women can't even get back to work because they can't afford or the child care is not available? So that's a huge issue for our families, child care costs, and then prescription drug costs, and lowering those are really, really important to seniors in particular. And so all of the provisions are important, and I'm not going to stand here and start talking about breaking up Build Back Better, but clearly, Joe has said he keeps an open mind, and that's what I'm going with.
What are your thoughts on how Kamala Harris reacted to that question? Do you agree, disagree? Do you like how she kept it real? Should she have been more diplomatic and political and polite? Let me know your thoughts on that. And what are your thoughts about what the other Senate Democrats said? So look at this. We have King Manchin. So as mentioned in the interview before, the people don't want to mention his name so much, but he is the king. He has shown, whether you like him or don't like him, he has the most power in the situation. He's calling the shots. He's making people kiss his ring. Joe Manchin seems to have come out on top in 2021. And Democrats face a frustrating end to a stormy year with no guarantee of smoother sailing ahead. So Senate has left the building. Looks like there's not going to be any voting rights, which is what they wanted, as well as the Build Back Better bill going to happen for the rest of 2021. And Democrats are not letting this go easily. I thought talks would be over because since this announcement came out, but Pramila Jayapal says that it could still happen before Christmas.
Needed win for small d democracy, as Senate Democrats seem to have abandoned passing President Biden's Build Back Better agenda this year. They're pivoting now to voting rights and facing the same two roadblocks that held up BBB. That is, of course, filibuster-loving Senators Manchin and Sinema. Now, the Senate adjourned this morning at 4 a.m., and they won't be back until January 3rd, so it's beginning to look a lot like nothing will be passed by Christmas. Joining me now to discuss is Chair of the Congressional Progressive Caucus and member of the House Judiciary Committee. That is, of course, Washington Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal. Congresswoman, so happy to have you here. I want to shift gears now and talk about Build Back Better. A lot of disappointment that this wasn't able to have any action in the Senate. Senator Joe Manchin, again, is holding up crucial points of this legislation. Policies such as paid family leave, immigration, drug price negotiations, child care, all of this is in jeopardy because of him. I want you to take a listen. He got a little testy with a reporter asking him about the child tax credit. We'll talk about it on the other.
Manchin, is it true you want the child tax credit out of
tax credits? We voted for it.
You want to continue it the way it is with $300 a month for the youngest kids?
I'm not negotiating.
It got a bit aggressive with the reporter trying to get answers for not only his constituents, but people all across the country who are starting to wonder if it's President Joe Manchin at this point, since he has so much outweighed power. My question to you is, will the House accept whatever version the Senate kicks back to the lower chamber? Because they do have the potential to strip a lot of these crucial policies away. As chair of the Progressive Caucus, what are you telling your...
Well, the first thing is that the child tax credit, child care, universal pre-K, cutting the cost of prescription drugs, capping insulin at $35, investing in housing. These are all critically important pieces of Build Back Better, and West Virginians want those just as much as everybody else across the country. And so, we approved and we endorsed, as the Progressive Caucus, the framework that Senator Joe Manchin, Senator Kristen Sinema, and the White House had agreed to. This was right before the president went to COP26 in Europe. We endorsed that framework. we added a little bit in the House to that framework. And I understand that the negotiations are about how much of what we added beyond the framework that Senator Manchin agreed to can survive. And, we just have to see. But we have been working in very good faith, and Senator Manchin agreed with the president to that framework. And I expect the president to deliver on the 50 votes that he promised he would deliver when when we took his word and went ahead and passed the infrastructure bill and the Build Back Better Act through the House. The Senate should have stayed in session and gotten the work done, Tiffany. There is no reason they couldn't do that. I don't understand why they didn't do that, and I'm urging the president to immediately have those discussions with Senator Manchin so that we can at least get an agreement on the legislation. It's not that complicated. The majority of it was pre-conferenced, and so let's just get the last piece done before Christmas, at least get the agreement, and then we can write up the legislation or make whatever changes we need and pass it through the Senate. It's too important to wait.
What are your thoughts on what Pramila Jayapal has to say? Do you agree, disagree? I don't think the Senate is going to be called back in session to get the Build Back Better bill done before Christmas. I just don't see it happening, but maybe I could be wrong. Let me know your thoughts on that. And that is all the stimulus news I have for you today to hopefully cheer you up a bit. This is a stimulus check update and daily news report, and things got really heated during an interview with the vice president when she was asked who is the president, Joe Manchin or Joe Biden. You don't want to miss her response. She got really mad with that. Senate has left the building. They are out of D.C., which means the Build Back Better bill will not happen until 2022, but yet Pramila Jayapal still thinks it's going to happen before Christmas. I'll play you the latest video clips from Democrats about the Build Back Better bill. I'll give you the latest stimulus check and guaranteed income program updates. For example, this one, stimulus check payments worth between $530 and $3,000 will be sent to tens of thousands. Here's who will receive the cash. Then this one, more Americans to get $250 payments every 2 weeks for 2 years. Do you qualify? I'll let you know where the White House stands with student loan extension, and I'll give you some other important updates as well. Hope you're having a wonderful weekend. If you appreciate the fact-based, fast-paced updates, hit the like button down below, and I'm giving $200 to my subscribers